Hi, friends. It's Monday, September the 23rd. We're going to talk more about long COVID. We're going to talk about running on empty. The reason I'm doing this tonight is because I got a response from last night saying, yes, I'm running on empty. Well, I've been using this term for quite quite some time as far as around the house and with my friends here since I've got COVID, long COVID. We're talking about long COVID here, and also not only that, but uh, we need to talk about fatigue. But I think I did a lot of that last night on that video. But running on empty, that's a little bit different. That's when you get up and you can't do anything. Your mind's awake, there's lights on, but there's no one up there doing anything. Got this at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. Isn't it neat? So this is normal for me. I I hate. I'm starting to hate the word new normal. It seems to be used quite a bit. This isn't quite a new normal. It's followed me for since 2020 or whenever it first started. See, I've had it 3 times, and did I tell you the first time I had COVID? I was the first one they met in the outpatient hospital part, and everybody that wanted to, I want to say, evaluate me had to come in with a spacesuit on. It looked like they were getting ready to go out in outer space. Oxygen tank. The doctor, when he came in, had an oxygen tank on. The other people had more hazardous material, hazardous suits. I was there all day. I went out in the hallway after a while because I was thirsty. Nobody was checking on me. They were on the phone calling everywhere and anywhere. What do you do with a person with COVID? What test should we give? Well, should we keep them here? Should we observe them? Should we let them go home? Should we give them medicine? Yep, I got medicine. I got 2 bottles of pills and 2 shots before they let me go. Finally, before they actually came in, I opened the door and said, either bring me a bottle of water or go out in the parking lot and get my undertaker, who's on standby today. Well, I don't know if they enjoyed that bit of humor, but that's the way I roll. You probably know that if you've been watching me. If you like my style, please feel free to hit subscribe because this is the way I talk. Unfortunately, I've been told several times to change my studio. This is not a studio. This is the man cave. And I don't have the energy to decorate it and to put things on the wall. I just don't have the gasoline. I'm running on empty, and that's what we're talking about. This is an update. I've done about 3 or 4 others. I want to tell you what happens when you run on empty, what to expect. Can we talk about that? Was up in the attic putting in a filter. Putting in a filter. It was one of those big thick ones, but that big. And you gotta change them. I change them every 3 to 4 months. But over the years that I've lived here in this house, I've always been able to climb up the attic on stairs, well, on a ladder. This time was a little different. I got the filter in, and on the way back, my foot slipped off a 2x4. The builders of the house did not put plywood to walk on. So you had, let me try to explain this. 2x4 is about this far each other, maybe closer. So you walked on those 2x4s until I fell in the middle. Here I am, knowing if I go through, I'll land on concrete or on my car. Concrete basement. We had a doctor here that did that. He was in the attic putting up a filter, the snow. He thought there was plywood or something, and he went right through and hit his car. Man, if it came closer to the wrong areas that were dangerous on that car, he wouldn't be practicing medicine now. He lived. So here I am. The attic part was over the garage. That's what we're talking about when I say I either hit concrete or something like a steel lamp or something I have down there that I'm saving, or an antique when I used to do antique business, and something was gonna. Let me put it this way: if it didn't kill me, the hospital was going to have to heal me. Still got the price, $125. So here I am. I have one arm on one 2x4, the other arm on the other 2x4, and I'm hanging. Now, I've lifted weights, I've joined health clubs. I'm not as young as I used to be. I probably didn't need to let you know that. You figured it out. So, I thought, well, I used to do push ups, I used everything. So, I grabbed each 2x4 and tried to push myself up. I never had any problems doing that before. Every bit of energy was sapped out of my arms. I thought this was strange. When I had COVID, they sent me for rehab, and I could do all the gymnastic stuff that was part of the rehab protocol. Now I can't even use two arms to push myself up to where I can grab the ceiling, a rod at the ceiling, and get my feet back on the 2x4s and go to the ladder. There was nothing. There was no energy. Talking about running on empty, I ran out of gas. Gee, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if I even had time to say a prayer. I'm thinking I may have. That would be probably one of the things I would try, would be ask God to give me strength to pull myself up enough to get back on my feet. So this was several years ago, maybe 3. So I can't tell you anything other than finally, I grabbed some wood above me and had enough energy to pull myself over to the left where my body was sitting on a 2x4 edge, like this. 2x4 was up and down. And then I was able to walk again and come down the ladder. Then I knew something was going wrong. Running on empty. Next thing happens, I driving, get some food, bring it back. Before I could reach, I think I touched the door and I was down. I couldn't turn the knob. What's going on? When you wonder what's going on when you've turned that knob thousands of times, maybe? What in the world's going on? And then the next incident of falling was when about a week later, I went to the refrigerator. Remember, I'm attributing this to symptoms of long COVID affecting my body, my energy. So I go to the refrigerator. I can't believe this. I reach for the door and maybe even touch the handle before I collapse. I've got to pour myself some more Diet 7 Up because I'm running on empty right now. Um, it's like this. There wasn't much left in there, about an inch. Um, this is the next thing that happened. It kind of scary, I think. So I'm sleeping. This is all about the same month or two. I'm sleeping, and as you get older, sometimes you go to the restroom more often. Any of y'all had that experience? And I went to the restroom, I went to the restroom. And I was going to pour myself some water to drink from the sink. You won't believe this. I fell and couldn't move. Absolutely. Couldn't move. Well, I thought, how can this happen? I'm flat on my back. I don't have the strength in my hands or arms to push myself up. I reached for the sink to see if I could get some leverage here to help myself up. No energy. Running on empty. All of a sudden, I called for my wife. I said, Judy, can you come here? It's pitiful. She couldn't move me. There's no way to describe this other than saying it's like you're over 200 pounds. You're over 200 pounds, and no one in the house can lift you. Nobody in the house could lift me. Well, it's just my wife. I couldn't lift myself. I was still alive. Did you know I had rehab for this on an earlier COVID, and I improved in everything. And now we've done a rapid turnaround. Why don't you know, long COVID, it's unpredictable what's going to happen. Unpredictable. I got an email last night. It's on last night's video, and I answered it. The guy said when he got long COVID, he started bleeding out. Bleeding out can mean a lot of things because I don't know if that's internally or externally. There wasn't time, I don't think, for him to take to explain the whole problem to me, so I gave him some suggestions that you're welcome to read. I have never heard of that as a symptom before. Have you? Okay. You care if I get another Coke here? I'm going to get another Coke and refill my diet. I'm into caffeine free. I'm into caffeine free. Let me tell you why. I can't sleep well. That is another symptom that we'll probably never talk about because I can't promise you. I can't promise you that it's from COVID because I've had a sleeping problem as long as I can remember. I take 3 pills a night, and I'm not going to say what they are, and you know why. Somebody that doesn't like me will call the Indiana Physicians Licensing Board and say I'm practicing medicine by telling people what to take for sleeping. Okay, so we're not going to do that, or if I do it, it'll be in another video, and it'll be where I show things like this. This is an antacid, um, and I'm not recommending it because I think it's affecting bones, the calcium in the bones, and all that. Uh, I saw a class action suit trying to form, saying that these antacids, two of the major ones, the doctors give, that they could be causing cancer. So that's not part of COVID. Sleeping, not sleeping, is a symptom that some people gain by having long COVID, but I already had it. Now, let me say this, it increased from me falling asleep by 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. and up to 7 p. I'm sorry. Let's start over. I go to bed at 10, 11, finally get to sleep after all this medicine at 2 or 3 or 4. Last night it was 5. It's been as much as 7 a.m. I'm talking about a.m. I'm talking about after midnight. When I gave those numbers, go to bed at 10, don't go to sleep till 2 a.m., 2 hours after midnight. If I'm lucky, 3 or 3:30. If I'm not lucky, I'm looking at the clock at 4, 5, or 7. Today it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had an appointment 5 or 6. Heck, the reason why I am kind of loose about what time I go to sleep, whether it's 5, 5:30, or 6, is I make it a point not to have a clock in front of me. I have to go 2 extra steps to another room to see what time it is. I don't want I don't want to be aggravated by looking at it all the time. I did a pretty good job today seeing someone that was homebound. She, I'm a therapist. Just so you know, um, I'm semi-retired. In Kentucky, I'm a, I'm a, I want to say I put my psychology license on hold, and over here it's good reason too. When you're paying a lot of money for a license every 2 years, and you have to take lots of classes to renew it, you start thinking about dropping one if you're not in that state anymore. I'm in Indiana, so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed clinical. What they give that title? A licensed clinical addictions counselor, and then a licensed clinical social worker. And I went ahead and let the licensed school psychologist expire where I can renew it. Okay, let me say this. This is completely off the subject. And I know we're having a good time, aren't we? I said all that, and you think I got the lights on up here. You think there's someone up here reading books. I'll tell you this. Took me much longer than anyone else to accomplish that. And on two of those licenses, I took the exam 3 times to pass. That wasn't from COVID. That's that's because my I like to talk, but I don't like to memorize. Okay, we're going to go. We're going to go here to some. Well, that was a tough one, by the way. That restroom deal. No, I didn't. I didn't have problems with my with needing to use the restroom. I just couldn't get up without calling the ambulance. How you like that one? Talking about running on empty to calling the ambulance. You're seeing what long COVID can do. This is not made up. It took 2 men from the ambulance to pick me up. They set me down on the bed. They said, let's get some water in you. Get a bottle of water. I said, okay. We're going to hang around here for 15 minutes, see how you're doing. And pouring the rest of the Diet Coke here. Like I said, I have to stay with caffeine free because of a sleeping problem. And sometimes water just doesn't do the deal. Doesn't get it done. Um, they said, here's the way we're going to do this. You can choose to go to the hospital, which time we'll take you there, which time you'll have a bill. They didn't tell me how much the bill is. Why do you think they won't tell you how much the bill's going to be between here and the hospital? It's not their job. That's all I'll say about that. Or we'll let you go ahead and stay here. And if you need us, we'll be back in here in 10 minutes, and we'd be ready to take you to the hospital. Now I tell you what, you don't get a better deal than that. I didn't go to the hospital. Okay, now I wrote something down here. Okay, this is a little bit something you might notice. Are you able to walk as well as you used to? Or are you having to hold on to the rails on the stairways going up and down? Are 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 you finding there's pain as you're walking upstairs? And you think, when this start happening? But you make sure that you grab at least one rail if you can't get the second one. Because even with the pain, you can get up to the next floor. Okay, now we're talking about different things, and but one last thing, one final thing is, how's your back when you try to pick up something? If you picked up something 30, 40, 50 pounds, let's just say a bag of salt for a water softener. If you pick up salt in a bag, especially if you pour it into the water softener, that's another step. You got to pick it up again and put it in there. Now I'm just using that because that's what I did last time when I hardly could stand back up straight because the pain was so bad. Let me set this down here so I can finish this up with grace. So, you may have had back problems before. I have. But now it's much more intense and more often. And I need to tell you this. There's no answer to what I've talked about other than think out how to cope. Example, I pay someone to go to the attic and put the air conditioning Honeywell filter in that's about that wide and so big. Got two of them. Um, I pay a handyman to bring the salt 40 is 40-pound bags of salt for the water softener, bring it around the outside or come through the inside and take it downstairs and put it in the water softener for me. That's what I mean by adjusting. Now, on the stairwells, I paid a handyman to put stairwells. I mean, the what you hold on to, the rails, handrails. Sometimes my mind can't get the right words I'm for. That's becoming increasing, by the way. Most embarrassing things when you can't introduce your friends to other friends because you've blacked out the name. You've known them forever. You just saw them yesterday. But now that you're introducing them to somebody else, you can't think of their name. Let me know in your comments if you've gotten this far. If you've had any of these situations happen, how you dealt with them if you want to take the time. If you've had other problems that I did not mention. And I'm going to be looking forward to talking to you again in the next few days. Actually, I don't. I'm not what you call a professional at this. This is a napkin. I said I got to give these people some more information in case they're going through it. You can see my notes. Yes. Yeah, Bobby off. Those those are the notes for today for this video. Wasn't it nice that my wife checked on me to see if I was still alive? I want to thank you for watching. If you like my style, please subscribe. Feel free to like it if you like it. If you hate it, go ahead and hit hate. I guess it won't do any harm. Won't do any harm. This is the way I roll. God bless you all. I hope you get better. I really do.